Jonathan Djanogly.
Thank you, Madam Deputy Speaker. Accounting for 2% of UK total exports in 2018, Japan is the UK's fourth largest export market, and by size alone is an important one for this country to have secured an FTA agreement with. And ministers are to be congratulated on that achievement. However, it is important that consideration is given to what constitutes success or levels of success when looking at this deal against which later deals will be judged. Do we measure success by jobs secured or jobs to be gained, by tariffs saved or regulations avoided? Or is it political, defence or strategic gains, all of which can directly or indirectly come out of a trade deal? In this regard, I have seen reports that complain that the government have for the most part only got the same as the existing EU deal with Japan, and the opposition said this earlier on. I think that's somewhat harsh, as the government's stated objective was to roll over existing EU FTAs, and if they have done this, then in my book they have met their objective. Having said that, we still need to understand and set out the parameters for future FTA measurement of success. The speed of negotiations with Japan has been frenetic, and we should again look at the timetable and learn if things should be improved on timing of future FTA talks, including for scrutiny purposes. I would be interested to hear if the Minister thinks that more could have been achieved at this stage with more time. I declare any interest I may have as a non-practising solicitor, but clearly recognition of professional qualifications with Japan has simply failed to happen in the way that services representative organisations had asked for. Will this now be addressed, or will services continue to be treated as the poor relation of manufacturing as we progress with other FTAs? Given that services account for 51% of our trade with Japan, this is an important issue. The government has stated its intention that this Japan FTA should act as a stepping stone to the EU-UK acceding to the Comprehensive and Progressive Trans-Pacific Partnership. With 13.5% of global GDP and 495 million consumers, this clearly is a big deal. Of course, the CPTP predecessor was the TPP, and this was partly a US-inspired effort to marginalise China in the Pacific region. The US then withdrew from the TPP and seemingly now may be replaced with China. Clearly, this raises many political as well as trade questions, and I think the government will need to set out its case here at the earliest opportunity. How is this likely to affect our US FTA negotiations? How will we deal with regulatory issues, such as the US-based agriculture regulations, which the CPTP follows? Could this be a rare opportunity to create a new set of rules with China, such as treatment of state-owned enterprises? And how does this impact on other CPTPP members who have varying levels of issues with China in trade as well as security concerns? I finish by heading back to the important issue of scrutiny process and approval. And the Minister will know full well my amendment to the Trade Bill requesting parliamentary approval for FTAs between agreement and signature. We can go through any processes we like, but bottom line, this Japan deal had to be approved by a vote in the Japanese Parliament, and that is not the case in the UK. A version of my amendment is currently in the other place, and I wish it well. A further set of trade bill amendments is aimed at modernising the antiquated CRAG system, which currently enables but does not demand votes on treaty ratification. CRAG does not allow Parliament to stop a treaty, as ministers have previously suggested, but only to delay ratification for 21 days at a time. I note that the government maintained that the speed of the Japan negotiations did not allow regular updates to Parliament via WMS, and I also note that the Other Place EU Committee have suggested a process for the sharing of FTA documents before laying them formally. Is the Minister going to accept this common sense proposal? Likewise, there have been some very late stage, I think October letters, sent from the Secretary of State to Lord Goldsmith and also the DIT Committee setting out a proposed scrutiny system process. Clearly, more needs to be done in this area, and it would be good to hear if the Minister would like to comment on that this evening. But I would not wish to detract from the importance of this deal to the UK and the further building opportunities it will open for us looking forward.